everybody. We're live
Hello.
with Rob Hoffland, sorry.
You've only known me for 13 years.
It's been 13 years, yes. 13 years. We're going to talk about building and maintaining muscle mass in midlife. And I've got a gigantic giveaway, so I'm going to let you guys start coming on. This is Rob. How long have we've known each other for 13 years. Rob is
I just got a notification of this.
a vegan athlete.
Yes.
He's completely vegan.
4 years vegan.
4 years vegan, and he's buffed as hell. And so we're going to talk about now Rob's not as old as I am.
I practice what I preach.
He walks the talk. He walks the talk. So we're going to talk about how do you build and maintain muscle mass in midlife, because like I've preached on this many times about how our muscle mass decreases with age. Happy Saturday. Starting about in our mid-30s, we start losing muscle mass, which creates a little bit of, it starts the sarcopenia, which is when fat infiltrates the muscle. It's really difficult to lose weight after that. And it affects everything from your metabolism to your metabolic health. It affects a lot of things. So we're going to talk about how do you do that.
I just want to add. So it's building muscle at any stage in life. It's not necessarily just midlife.
Totally.
I want to say that firstly.
Totally building muscle mass at any stage of life. Because
it's 100% possible no matter what age you are.
I love that.
It's just understanding things or trying to understand things a little bit more simple.
Yeah.
Simpler. Simpler. So, I mean, even me, vegan, also, I'm 39.
Yes, Rob is almost in the 40 and over.
Let's never say that again.
What? we love our age. We're embracing our age here, Rob. And if you look like this at 39.
But my inner age, I would say, is probably 25.
I was going to say 5. Rob's a little bit of a young at heart person. Rob has been with me. So here's the thing: a lot of people. 2010. A lot of people. You'll go to the gym and you'll go to the dermatologist and you'll go to the doctor. I go to places and people and I collect people and friends that are like I learn so much from. So in the last 13 years of working out with Rob, I have learned more about the function of the muscle.
Same. I continue to learn. I don't know half the things that I knew back then.
Yeah, so as Rob keeps accumulating knowledge, it's going in my ears.
It's always being inquisitive, asking questions, and trying to gather as much information as you can.
Absolutely. Okay, before we get any further, I'm going to announce the winner from... I'm just having a little mushroom coffee before we work out. I'm going to announce the winner from last week. Last week, Rob picked the winner. He gave us the random number. Last week was up for grabs. I'm going to be moving around in here a lot, you guys. Was the Dr. Penn M8 microneedling tool, which you guys know, if you don't have my protocol, I'm doing this every Sunday, a different body part, because it tricks your body into functioning like it did when it was younger. Your skin anyways, I mean. The winner for that is Leptin-Free Creations. Gina Hill was one of the last ones to put in her who tagged her 3 people.
You're welcome, Gina.
Yeah, and Rob picked your number, and you won the microneedling device. I want to tell you guys really quickly what's up for grabs today, and then we're going to start working out. For those of you that are just joining, this is Rob Hoffland. Rob has been my friend and trainer, and I want to say physical therapist through multiple feet injuries.
I'm not a physical therapist.
He's not,
but I do have a great amount of knowledge in the area because of my own issues. I had a knee replacement when I was 33.
Yeah.
And I had to ask. I was in pain 24/7 for 2 years, and I had to figure out how to get around it and how to do my best to just live and to work and to figure things out. And so I was inquisitive and tried to get a better understanding of how the human body works, how you walk, how to efficiently change your gait so that you don't cause more damage to your body, things like that. Yeah, and I love that because there's people that get injured and then they step away from the gym, and Rob can tell you after my foot surgery, the day after, I'm literally on crutches. When the doctor says keep your heart rate low.
keep your heart rate low, but we did low heart rate exercises, and I was in the gym the very next day, because the last thing you want to do when you have an injury
is invalidate the heart rate, because it takes away from the recovery process.
But also stop working out. You don't want to stop working out.
No. Physical therapists and doctors, even now after surgery, they want you moving right away.
Yeah, moving right away.
You decrease the scar tissue that can possibly build up depending on the surgery, and increase range of motion, which ultimately leads to less pain.
Yeah,
so
it's really weird. Like you can work through an injury, and that's what Rob has helped me do, to understand the human body, to understand the muscles and how the joints and ligaments work, to understand how certain exercises, really the little tiny changes in form make a big difference in what muscle you're working out.
Rotations.
Yeah, the rotation.
Adductions.
Exactly.
Adductions.
It's like really quite incredible. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what's up for grabs today. It's worth $669. You see this vibration plate out here? I'm going to briefly tell you a little bit about this thing, because I'm obsessed. And then we're going to literally start working out, and we're going to go over what do you need. What is like the formula for what you need to build and maintain muscle mass in midlife. And yes, Rob says at every age, and it is at every age, but we know it's more difficult to build muscle mass in midlife, right? Not afraid of 50, because when we start hitting menopause, it's more difficult. We lose testosterone, and testosterone helps us to build muscle. Okay, here's what's up for grabs.
Same thing with osteoporosis.
Yes, and speaking about osteoporosis, weight-bearing exercises, right, for osteoporosis.
Yes.
I'm going to show you guys this, and this is what's up for grabs. This is $660-something. This is the T-zone vibration plate.
Let me see.
I'm going to stand on here. Let me tell you really quickly.
Oh yeah, you can see.
Yeah, you can see. Can you?
Yeah. You can see in the comments.
Okay, so on. So let me just start at mild first.
If you have had a knee replacement or any sort of metal in your body,
don't do this.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do this. This is not something, you guys don't enter the contest if you've got metal in your body, because it will vibrate this, and it could kind of unscrew the screws that you've got going on. Here's what's up for grabs, and I'm going to do things a little bit different this time, because this is the biggest item that I'm giving away for the whole season. And so you need to follow Rob, which once I post this to my main feed, I'll put in the description. I'll tag him so you know you can follow him. I want you right now, if you can, you'll increase your chances by 1 vote if you send this with that little paper airplane and invite 3 people to come and join the live right now, just to see what's going on, so they can possibly win this as well. So that'll give you a little bit of extra vote. But then once I post this to the main feed, you're going to tag your 3 people. You're going to follow Rob. And then we'll get the winner for next week for this.
I think you should sing while you're on this.
La. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about why this is important. And then Rob's going to work me out, and we're going to figure out how do we maintain, how do we build muscle mass in midlife. The reason why a vibration plate works, let me get off of this. I'm like, The reason why a vibration plate works, what's so amazing about these kind of devices is, here's the science behind it. So just bear with me for a second. When you're off kilter like this, which is what a vibration plate does, it gets you a little bit of off balance. Do you remember those whirly things at the fair where you go around in a circle and it would stick you to the
G-force.
Yeah,
That's
to the
G-force
sides of that thing at the fair? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Think about that when we're talking about a vibration plate, because it actually it's tilting you like this. It creates a little bit of a G-force, which increases your gravity.
Gravitational force.
So think about this. G-force is gravitational force. It's increasing your gravity. So if you're doing a weight-bearing exercise, just by standing on a vibration plate alone, you're increasing your weight-bearing exercise. That's number 1. So in terms of osteoporosis, bone density, all of that stuff, you're increasing your weight-bearing exercises when you're using a vibration plate. That's number 1. Number 2, lymphatics love vibration. So by standing on the vibration plate, your lymphatic system, it's vibrating, right? It's helping with lymphatic drainage. That's number 2. Number 3, balance. Because we lose strength as we age, we lose balance as we age, we also lose flexibility, but we lose balance. So by doing single leg exercises on something like this, so you can lift up one leg and do some bicep curls, right? Just even standing. If you're further out, it's a little bit harder. And when you're more centered in the balance of your what do you call them? That's not what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. When your vibration, when your feet are closer together, it's a little bit easier. So when you step out, you're getting this more of a torque, right? So increased gravitational pull, increased balance, and lymphatic drainage. So if you do like a single legs on here, you're literally working on your balance at a whole other level.
Does the company also have a booklet to help with the exercises?
It does. It has a booklet. It also has
straps.
The straps that attach to it, and these bars. So I typically just use free weights with this, but you can have, it's like a whole system that you've got here. This is what's for free. Mama Karen 10, you do need this. It's great. And for those of you that are older, like if you've had surgery or whatever, but if you're a little bit older, you know older people.
Not every.
It does depend on the surgery. You just don't want metal in you.
Yeah, always check with the physician maybe.
Always, yes, always check with the physician. Ooh, what happened? I don't know what happened. Oh, there we are. Okay. I don't know what happened. That just was weird. Okay, wait, where's my coffee? Okay. I'm not stalling the workout.
This is the blooper reel.
All of my lives are kind of blooper reels, right? Okay, so I'm going to just tell you guys one more time to increase your chance. To increase your chance of winning that T-Zone vibration plate worth $650. You can invite your 3 people right here. I do have somebody that's seeing. I see the little hearts. Invite your 3 people here, and then when it gets posted to my main feed,
lots of people waiting.
You're gonna tag. Hi everybody. You're gonna tag your 3 people once I post it to my main feed, and you're gonna follow Rob, and I'll put his handle there. Okay, Rob.
Was I supposed to do something like on my Instagram?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I'm not
okay, so we're gonna now talk about how to build muscle mass. You want to talk about protein, my vegan athlete friend?
It's funny because everyone asks me how do you get your protein as a vegan. Everything has protein in it that you eat, including salad, lettuce, and all that. It's just numbers. It's all about numbers. And in the fitness industry, we inflate numbers. I don't know why. The textbooks that we read are telling you have to consume 1 pound per body weight, 1 pound of protein. Exactly. And those textbooks, I'm not going to say that they're written or they're contributed by the meat industry or this or that, but I don't know who's putting out the information. If you look through Harvard, who posts or not posts, provides information,
scientific based
that are studies with cited research, they will give you the correct number of grams per pound of body weight that you should consume.
And that is
0.36 per pound of body weight, which is on the low end, but
it's not on the low end. It's on the low end of what most people are getting these days, because we are in the middle of a high protein diet fad. Okay?
Which it really depends. We have
a little bit of a disagreement on this, but not by much.
Slight disagreement. The reason why is I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
As I've stated. I'm incredibly active. I burn probably 35 to 5,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
I like to maintain my muscle mass, so I do supplement with a pea protein, and I try to have protein in the meals that I eat.
Through vegetables.
Through vegetables, through seitan, through tofu, based things. I don't mind the Beyond sausages and that stuff, but a lot of people have that same. However, it decreases, or the land that we are using for animals to the land that we are using for the Beyond is not comparable. So
Agreed.
I'm okay with having that.
Yeah.
And also I think it tastes good. But I don't have it every day. But I do not have
you don't have it every day. Rob eats real food.
Absolutely. It's called a whole food plant-based diet.
Yeah, which is kind of like me. I'm predominantly plant-based, but I do microdose my meat. I do have small amounts of real meat, but I mean small amounts. And I don't supplement with protein supplements because to me that's marketing. With somebody like Rob, who is
active as ever,
once you follow him, if you guys want this vibration plate to be in the drawing, and you follow him, you will see what I mean. The difference between somebody who should supplement with protein, because this is an athlete here. This is somebody who's every single day he's kicking ass in the gym because that's his job. That's what he does.
But I don't spend more than 60 minutes in the gym.
60 minutes. That's well, you know
for weight workouts.
For weight workouts.
When I do, I there's no additional benefit going past 60 minutes for weight workouts.
Yeah.
So I don't go past 60 minutes.
But you're in there how many days?
So then I can go play tennis or I can go hiking and whatnot. I'm there 7 days a week.
So if you're going to supplement with protein powders, which are marketing shit, you want to be in the gym for 7 hours a week. That's an hour a day, 7 days a week. Plus he hikes. Plus he plays tennis.
That does not include cardio, which I think is very important for everyone for your heart.
Yes.
And you can also use a little bit of science to decrease body fat through cardio as well.
That's true. Totally. This is why he's still my friend. We're on the same page for so many things. But we do, I do believe that there are way too many people. Listen, Rob wouldn't put me on the same amount of protein that he's having. He just wouldn't do that.
Doesn't make sense. Also, I don't tell you how to eat.
He doesn't tell me
I don't tell you how to eat or supplement or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't have the ability to do
but
that.
But based on the Harvard study, it's 0.36 grams per pound of body weight.
Yeah.
For me, that is 38 grams of protein a day. I guarantee you, if you've got, not guaranteed, that's kind of strong. But there's a lot of health coaches out there that are saying you need a pound of protein per body.
That's excessive.
Body weight. It's so excessive.
And what happens with the excess?
It gets stored as fat.
It gets stored as fat.
It's
easily stored as fat.
Excess protein gets stored as fat. It's not like what you think it is. You don't eat protein and all of a sudden you're going to build muscle. Muscles are built in the gym. They're not built in the kitchen. Okay? They're built in the gym.
They're defined in the kitchen, right?
You can chisel them out in the kitchen a little bit, right? You can chisel out muscles in the kitchen, but they're built in the gym.
Yes. Actually, they're probably also defined in the gym. But what you do in the kitchen is you make the changes that are necessary to show more definition. Because I mean, here's the thing with that protein talk: 0.36 grams of protein. You may not be full if you're eating 0.36 grams of protein, and then other people will then decide, okay, well, I'm not hungry and I shouldn't have. I'm not full, but I shouldn't have protein, so I'm going to have excessive amounts of carbohydrates and whatnot. So it's kind of understanding that even if you don't have the protein, or if you're limiting your protein, don't fill it up with pasta, even though it makes you happy.
100%.
You have to eat smart, and it's better to space out your protein throughout the day. However, they say that you get a better absorption of protein in the morning than you do in the evening. Yeah.
So this is because you always eat a little bit before you work out, don't you?
Not anymore.
Okay, yeah.
I got food poisoning last week.
I work out on a completely empty stomach.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I want my body to reach into its fat cells for energy. Glycogen. Yeah, we want.
Well, you want the glycogen first, and then into the fat source.
Yes, exactly. So that's what That's why I kind of work on
those are sources of energy. The sources of energy that you are looking to use in your gym session.
Yeah, you're not wanting the free-floating glucose that's in your bloodstream. So when you work out on an empty stomach, it causes your body to work to get that energy from other sources.
Glycogen first comes from muscle, where it's stored. Then it goes to the liver, and then after that you go into I can't remember if it's called the Krebs cycle, but that's when you start getting body fat as a form of energy.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so we're gonna start working out a little bit. I took, gosh, Rob, how long did I take off? 2 weeks. I took 2 weeks off of the gym because I had the flu so bad that my lungs, I didn't want to get him sick.
And then I got food poisoning.
And then he got food poisoning. So I took 2 weeks off, and I'm telling you, I can tell it, and you even noticed it, I can tell a difference in my muscle in that I lost.
But we did work out one day and then it came back.
I know. When you're used to working out,
every single day.
and you're used to working out, well, Rob works out every single day, but when you're used to working out and you've done it for years, you've got something that is oftentimes referred to as muscle memory, meaning that your muscles are used to being a certain size, and even though you can lose muscle mass if you stop working out. Yeah, you have to use it or you're gonna lose it. Like you have to rip those muscle fibers, not what you think, but little tiny tears in the muscle fiber. What is that called?
Micro tears.
Micro tears, yes. Micro tears in the muscle fiber, and it builds it back. Just like when we create micro trauma in the skin using micro needling, we build it back, we build that collagen back, right? When you're lifting weights, you're creating micro tears in the muscle and you build it back. And that's how you grow and that's how you maintain. So there's a certain number, right?
There's a little bit more to it than that, but yeah.
Okay, but
it's
take over, tell me.
Well, it's really a nervous system response when you build muscles. So when you're doing when you're actively like flexing and extending, it's they say that it's the nervous system response that actually changes the muscle. Like it forces the muscle to adapt.
Interesting.
So it comes from.
Are you talking about nerve firing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nervous system response.
Yeah. So we need to fire that muscle contraction. How many times? Let's say if we're taking one muscle group. Yeah. Let's just say bicep.
This is again another Harvard study. It's 5 sets per muscle group per week to maintain. 6 to 9 sets per muscle group to cause hypertrophy, and that is rule of thumb.
Okay, do you guys get that?
So what that means is if I want my bicep, the full body, let's say you have your bicep, you have your tricep, I'm just going major muscle groups, legs, glutes, abdominals, chest, back.
Lats.
Yeah, we've got a lot of muscle in the back. There are lots of different separate muscles through the back, especially if you're a bodybuilder like myself who's very specific.
Yeah.
But you can be very general and do 5 exercises for your back in a week. That doesn't mean lightweight. That means you want to stress the muscle safely with great form, at least 5 sets per week, around 6 to 8 to 10 reps, and that will maintain your muscle fibers.
Interesting. Okay, so 5 sets per week. So if I wanted to grow biceps, the typical formula would be 6 to 9 sets.
6 to 9 sets per week to get hypertrophy. Mm-hmm. And that is a study by Harvard. So
if you really want to like build giant biceps, you could do Monday, Wednesday, Friday and do 3 sets each attacking the biceps, and you're going to be in a growth mode. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I want to make sure that that's connecting with everybody. So the growth mode is between, I'm just going to scroll back.
6 to 9 sets. And it's not as challenging as it may seem or that scary as it seems. It shouldn't be that overwhelming to do. It's my point of view is like, it's very easy to do if you just take your time and think about it, or just even one step in front of the next.
Yeah.
I have neighbors in my building, and we've got a gym, and I've helped my neighbors try to understand this. And it's just 6 to 9 sets. And also, I just want to say, there's another missed thing with the fitness industry. You have to confuse your muscle in order to create change. I never understood that. Yeah. Okay. So why? Because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to build a house. You're trying to build something. You cannot build something if you're constantly confusing it.
Right.
So yes, you can confuse it by changing the reps, by changing the weight, but you don't always have to change your workout. You don't always have to change things like, I don't know, jumps and this and that and bells and whistles.
Simplify, right?
Simplify. It should not be that challenging. Sorry, wrong word, challenging. It should not be that confusing or overwhelming. It should be very simple, because it's when you get really specific with rotations and adductions and whatnot, then it gets complex. But for the general, like for people that are just trying to maintain or to increase their muscle mass, you can be general and get to a good point, and then you can increase it and be more specific. But it should not be that overwhelming.
Yeah.
It should be like anyone can go into the gym with a foundation of knowledge and, you know, get to their goal. I don't want anyone to ever feel like, oh, I can't do this because I'm scared of it. I don't know what to do.
I'm not doing the latest, greatest version of a bicep.
You don't have to be specific when you first start. You can grow to that and become more specific. Like the bicep, 2 heads. So how do I work the
Let's get up and do
head?
that.
How do I work the short head? Those are just the specifics of it. Like that's where you get a trainer, or that's where you kind of look things up on the internet. But for the most part, just doing this, if I do 5 sets of this,
I want to talk about that.
Grow.
Yeah, I want to talk about that long head and short head because of the bicep, because that's going to make a difference in how you do your form, and we're going to show you right now. So if you're doing just the short head, that's what I like to think of as they're like the pretty muscles, you know.
That's this is the short head.
Yeah, this is the short head.
And then this is the long head.
Yeah. So the short head is going to give you that pop, but the long head is going to give you kind of more of the bulk, right?
No. The long head is the long.
It's the longer one.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
It would be the opposite. But
opposite.
The short head is where you get, ooh, look at that. You know, that's what all the guys want, is the short head to be more predominant.
And the long head is going to lengthen out that muscle. And honestly, the combination of that is what's going to give you the best function. And when I'm in the gym, I'm not just looking at, oh, how do I build the biggest, most pretty muscles? I want to focus on, like, how is my function of my body going to stay as good as it can get for as long as I can get it to do that. And in doing that, it's not just about, oh, let's just flex in the mirror and see what we can get to pop out. It's about the function of those muscles.
It's living with less pain, living with great range of motion, and having so I use.
Am I sitting here?
I'm going to show you the short head, and I'm going to show the long head in the exercise.
Okay.
But I used to train Joe Phonics, and he would always say, I want to work to have a smart muscle.
Ooh, a smart muscle. I like
and
that.
So that is a muscle that can do things, that has a use, a functioning muscle, such as an athlete would have, because an athlete doesn't want to have a limited range of motion. An athlete wants to have a full reach, a great range of motion, so you don't get injured, tears and things.
Yeah.
If you have a shorter muscle, you're going to have more opportunity to tear it because it's not as
Does that make sense, everybody? Does that make sense?
So length is more important, my point of view.
Yeah.
Length is more important than...
I mean, we all like the pretty ones that pop, you know, the pretty muscles that pop. But that's not going to be the best ones in terms of decreasing your injury, right?
No.
And increasing the function of the muscle. Okay, so let's go over...
Which is fine for some people to train. Like, I don't want to, like, you know, cast any shadows on anyone when they're training, if they're training for that. But my point of view is I think it makes more sense for me and for you to have a muscle that is able to do what it's meant to do at its greatest. So length, strength.
Love it. Okay, so I think we're in the right. I think we're on camera.
Yeah. So it looks like it. So we're gonna work the short head, which means what?
The short head is like the little pretty part.
So what position will we be going?
If we're working the short head, we're ooh.
Boom.
Look at this.
Okay.
See, I learned so much from this guy.
So this
we're working the short head.
This is called a spider.
Oh my God, is this going to be a quiz the whole time?
No.
Okay.
So this is called the spider.
Okay. Do you want me on my knees?
I like the knees up because it kind of locks you there. Your hands are gonna grab that. This is what type of grip?
This is a wait. Hold on. This is a neutral. This is pronated. This is supinated.
Yeah. And so the elbows are going to stay out in front.
So the elbows stay out in front. You see that?
Which
emphasizes the short head. Point to the muscle on this side, Rob.
So the short head is actually on the inside right here.
Okay.
So this is the short head of the bicep, and there you go. And how does that feel?
Good.
And we'll go for 10.
Yep. 6.
Count 7.
7.
8.
We never count the same, Rob and I.
Trainers suck at counting.
Okay, so that's the short head.
So now we'll flip around, and usually you would go a little bit less weight, but
It's fine, we can just leave
okay. So
it. Okay,
And
now we're doing the
now-
long head.
what happens with her elbows? What happens with her arms is they go behind the body.
Yeah.
That's going to emphasize right there, which is the long head of the bicep.
So do you guys see that? You see how my arms are just hanging free
And
because of
also,
gravity?
she's slightly turned outwards.
Yeah.
And where do you feel that? On the outer side of the bicep.
On the outer side of the bicep. And you want to kind of lock your wrists, right?
Oh, yeah. So there's no movement in the wrist because then you'll get into your forearms, which it's too many moving parts when you want to focus just on the bicep.
Okay.
Cool. So
that would be 2 sets, right? Let's think about this when we're talking about
I would
maintaining.
provide at least like 30 to 60 seconds in between the exercises. We didn't do that.
Yeah, we didn't do that. But if we were to talk about this in terms of
Do you want to stand and hold these?
Yeah. Do you want me to do another one?
Yeah.
Let me do a
So now they are going to be where? Where are your elbows? The complete center of your body. So once you're at the complete center of your body,
and then we're
you're
gonna
going to
flip
do a
these out.
curl, and you're going to get somewhat equal firing of the short head, sorry, the long head and the short head of the bicep, which would be your third set. And this is the general, not the specific.
Yeah.
So now we've got a general exercise that is going to work both heads of the bicep.
Okay, so this, you guys see how my elbows...
Somewhat evenly.
Right, so you see how my elbows stay kind of in line?
Center of the body.
Center of the body.
Which is spinal cord.
They're not coming back here.
No, which would be what?
That would be the long head.
That'd be the long head.
Because when I'm laying down on the bench, remember my elbows were behind me?
Now here's the tricky thing. There's something called a drag curl, which is even a little bit more specific. That would actually work your short head, but that is, it does go back.
Oh, like this?
Yeah, and that is
Ooh.
actually, that's called a drag curl, and that would work the short head of the bicep.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a gray area. Let's not talk about
It's a
that.
little gray.
Let's not complicate that.
Yeah. But center of the body.
This would be
A little bit of both.
a little bit of both. So if we did one set
So
with the short head, one set with the long head,
and now you've got both firing.
and now we've got both firing, that's 1 round of 10 reps.
Right
So
there.
it's 3 rounds, so it's 30 total.
So
So
you've
3
got-
sets. So if we did one more,
You would be at 4 and then you get 5. So for instance, you've done, that was 10. Now if you were to then turn, you're going to get again which part? So now you go to a hammer curl and you're going to get the outside.
you'd be doing the outside.
You're going to be getting this in that neutral position
Why is that?
because of the rotation.
Okay, but it's not. We're not talking about the long head or the short head. Of
Oh
it?
no! This is the long head. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, so we would do one more set of that as a hammer curl.
So that's set number 4.
This would be set number 4.
Good.
Again, elbows stay in line with the body.
Yeah, or
And
a
see
little bit back.
My hands are in a neutral grip. So they're not in a supinated grip, which is here. They're not in a pronated grip, which is here. They're in a neutral grip like a hammer curl.
How long
Look
did
how
it
much
take you?
how
How long did
learned
it
from
take
him.
you?
Rob's like, yes, you go, girl. I'm like a student. I'm always a student.
And I'm sure your biceps have got to be a little tired at this point.
Biceps are tired right now.
Good. And so you always want to try to keep your elbows from swinging no matter
Yes.
how you do these bicep curls.
I understand.
And that is to isolate the bicep, which is 2 heads.
Okay, so let's just think about what we did. What I did. But what I did, we did 4 sets. We did a total of 40 reps. So 4 sets
So one more and then you make 10.
One more and you make 10, and that's all I would need
For a week.
for a week
To maintain.
to maintain.
However, like when you and I do gym, we do 3 to 4 times a week. We would meet, and I would devise a plan of trying to hit your biceps, maybe three different exercises per biceps a week, which would be about 9 sets.
Yeah.
Roughly.
That's about right. So we're always kind of on
the hypertrophy, which is
hypertrophy.
Trying to gain muscle.
Hypertrophy,
However,
that's a fancy word.
Yeah, but you're never gonna get full hypertrophy unless you, here's the protein thing, eat correctly.
Yeah.
And have the protein that's necessary to fuel your muscles for growth.
Yeah. If I was somebody who muscle growth was my main goal, right? If that's my main goal, which it's not, I want to live longer and I want my body to function as best it can while doing so. Not so interested in the flashy kind of posy stuff, but I want my muscles functioning as long as I can. But if I were somebody who's always, my goal is to grow and be big, I would increase my protein intake.
Yes, but I also want to say it is very hard to get big. It is very hard to get really big.
Yeah.
And so there's a stigma of, I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to get bulky, You can, but it's very hard to.
It's very hard to, and especially as a woman. It's really hard to get bulky as a woman. You should not be afraid of getting bulky.
Listen,
strong's the new skinny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to bulky, I'm just going to help everyone out.
Please.
Decreasing range of motion can lead to shortening of the muscle. And if you shorten the muscle and continue to work out and do an exercise over and over and over, what will happen to that muscle is it will stay decreased in the range of motion and increase in size, which can lead to becoming bulky. So when you do exercise, what you want to do is you want to have good range of motion so that you create length, and that is not bulky.
Right.
Length is not bulky. I'm 6'2", I weigh 180 pounds. Am I bulky?
No.
I'm lean, long.
Lean,
and
he's
the
lean
reason
and long.
why is because I like a full range of motion, which increases my ability to move my joints and decrease my pain.
Yeah.
So I play tennis, I hike, I run, and I want to feel good.
And you want your body to function in those natural things. If I was only hanging off the side of if this was my only way,
bicep curl.
If this is my only bicep curl that I'm doing, I'm only working that short head.
And so it's going to start developing in size, which can be considered bulk.
Yeah. So I could bulk up. If I want to bulk up my biceps,
there are ways to specifically aim to do such.
That's one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a good curl.
No, I know. Listen, we do that curl a lot, right? But we also mix
angles.
it in. We mix in the angles. We mix in really extending
range of motion.
Yeah, getting that range of motion. We mix that in a lot, and we mix in angles a lot. Like we sometimes will do a bicep
and
curl
rotations
with rotation in it, right?
Here's a good one. Here's a good exercise. Rear delt.
Okay. We can move this camera around.
No, it's fine. Why do you like the rear delt?
I like the rear delt because it's a postural muscle.
It's a postural muscle. It's a part of the rotator cuff, sure.
Yeah.
But it also gives
We're
that
talking about
really, the rear.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful aesthetic. However, a lot of people don't like to work the trap, for instance.
No. As a woman, you don't want this trap here, right? So I'm constantly trying to lengthen the neck and pull the shoulders down when I'm working rear delt so it doesn't get into here. Okay, go ahead, Rob.
So what is the exercise, sorry, I'll move on. So what is the exercise that we do, this is so,
oh my God, I have
this
a
is
quiz
the
again!
What is the exercise that we do that you like, that is very effective for your, this is such a quiz,
Such a quiz.
For your rear delts, and what is the position we do to take out the trap?
Oh, for the rear delt.
And it's in this position.
I know. I got it. Okay,
So
so
I'm going to give you the 12.
if we're working the rear delt, if I were to be up, you want me, oh, that's going to be heavy, right?
I don't think so.
You want me to come out like this?
No.
What do you want me to do?
So that is a very good exercise, and a lot of people do this exercise. This is a rear delt raise. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. However, what happens is you're going to start working your traps and your rhomboids a little bit, which is fine.
Can I tell you what my answer was going to be first?
This one.
No, I was going to do this, and I was going to,
Yes.
to take it out of the traps, I was going to look down.
Exactly. So that's a good exercise, but a better exercise, which a higher percentage of rear delt, would be pushing it back.
Pushing it back, and I still have to look down.
And then you look down.
So even little things like that, the position of your head.
Let's show.
Yeah, we'll show.
So this is a rear delt raise, and all you're doing
Sorry.
is what type of grip?
I'm doing a pronated grip. Fuck, this is like a lot of quizzing here. This is a pronated grip,
Right.
And I'm pushing back.
Now, see how her neck is?
Yeah.
Okay, that was in the trap. Not as high a percentage as the other exercise, but there, as she looks down, the trap is at its full length and will no longer fire.
Yeah.
So look down even more, yep, and push back. Where do you feel it?
My rear delt and a little bit in my
Right here.
yeah, I was gonna say a little bit also in my tricep.
Yeah. Because you're holding it, and I don't know how many that is, but we don't have to do. But this is a higher percentage exercise for rear delt activation than the common fly out to the side, even in that position.
So what
So
would
you'll
be
get less trap doing that, more activation in the rear delt by doing that than this. However, this is still a good exercise. I think variation is great, so we can do a neutral grip, we can change it to do a pronated grip, even a supinated grip. However, the supinated grip is going to get a little bit more into the back than it is into the rear delt.
Yeah, it's really interesting how when you're doing anything,
Rotations.
say we're just doing a fly, if you're doing a rear delt fly, right, to start with your pinkies up versus neutral versus thumbs up completely changes.
Pronated, neutral, and supinated.
Yeah, it completely changes where you're
Absolutely.
working.
What
There was a
muscle,
question.
what muscle fibers fire?
Yeah.
Or what predominant muscle fibers fire?
We had a question, how heavy were those weights? Those weights were 12. I'm telling you, it's so
Do
isolated.
you want to know how much I did?
I'm gonna feel silly.
45.
45's
45,
so
45.
hard.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I'm also
Well,
doing
look at
this
how
a long
but look at
time.
how big your arm is compared to mine. It's ridiculous. This is like
I might have more testosterone too.
maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hey, you guys, remember I'm giving this a vibration plate away. So if you can invite your 3 people, you'll increase your chances. This is $650, and the winner's going to be announced next week. Again, this is everything from increasing your gravitational pull. So it's a weight-bearing exercise. I end up doing a lot of different exercises on this device. The vibrations, our lymphatic system loves it, so it helps with lymphatic drainage. And it helps with balance. So those 3 things are super important as we age. So I'm giving this away for free. And it comes with like the bands and stuff, so.
Can I keep on working with the shoulders?
Yes.
So Darnell has a torn supraspinatus.
Yes.
And that was how long ago? Quite a while ago.
Quite a while ago.
You do still do your shoulder work. However, you have to be very mindful of what you do. And so this type of rotation for her, and if she were to bring it up, and if I were to push down, she would feel pain.
I feel it right
So
in
that rotation she just did, the supraspinatus is directly affected in that rotation.
Yeah.
So what we do is we change the angle of things to still work her lateral head.
Yeah.
So great alternative is to do a neutral grip and leaning. You're going to lean forward and you're going to take it to the side and tell me what
And you
your
want me-
pain level is.
You want me with
No.
You want me
neutral grip.
neutral grip.
And also take out your traps.
Take out the trap. So I'm looking all the way down.
And so those are, oh, sorry, those are not the weights I wanted. Those are the weights I wanted. Alright.
Yeah, you guys, this is
Yeah,
small weights. This is 5 pounds.
But how many sets is she gonna do?
I would normally do 3 sets of like 12 to 15.
Yeah, sure. But how many how many sets are you gonna do a week?
Oh,
You're gonna do between 5 and 10 sets a week.
Between 5 and 10.
Or sorry, 9. Between 5 and 9 sets a week, so that you maintain and potentially grow.
yeah. So if we're doing, like, let's say in this session, I'm doing this 3, we normally do 3 rounds. So if I did 3 sets of this in one session, if I did that one more time per week, I'm still in that growth mode.
Right. And in this position, what's your level of pain?
My level of pain is really good in this position. Like, in other words, it's
So
not
this-
hurting that shoulder.
So in this position, which is slightly forward, this is called the, gosh, I can't remember what plane this is called. I think it's called a trap plane, but I could be wrong. In this position.
How many transverse? That's
No. It's a scap plane? Maybe it's a scap plane. I can't remember what plane this particular exercise is
Yeah.
on, but it's slightly in front because of this position. And she's working her lateral delt, not her traps, and the supraspinatus is not really affected by this.
Right.
Which is something we have to do if you have an injury.
Yeah.
Because you have to, you don't stop working out, you have to understand how the body is. Like
Yeah.
what is affected in this position, what is affected in this position. When we did a test and when you did this, I pushed down, there was pain, which indicated that it's a supraspinatus tear, which is a common test done in doctor's offices to find out what type of tear in the rotator cuff it is.
And you guys, the rotator cuff tears are so common because our shoulder joints are one of the joints. Like when you talk about your elbow, right? It goes one way. It doesn't. There's a little bit of movement this way, but not much. But when you're talking about your shoulders, they go every way and they circumvent, right? Just like your hips. So.
Ball and socket.
Yeah, it's a ball and socket, just like our hips. So the tears that occur, especially with age, I mean, it seems like everybody I know over a certain age has had rotator cuff issues. Frozen shoulders.
Yeah, so that's I can't really say it's a range of motion thing with frozen shoulders, but increasing range of motion will always help with decreasing pain.
Yeah.
So I think that it's very important to have mobility or do work mobility and flexibility in your joints.
Yeah.
So what you do normally for that
CAR
is called a controlled articular rotation, and there's several different ways to do it. Just do it up and over. So there,
Here, I'll try to give you a little bit of a...
she's creating mobility in her shoulder joint, which is a great way to warm up always.
So even though I'm injured, now listen, you guys need to see a doctor, but even though I'm injured, we find those positions that still allow me to work out without creating, it almost is healing because
range of motion. Shout out to Laura Wilson of Natural Flies.
Oh yeah, Laura Wilson.
Who coined the term, movement is medicine.
Movement is medicine. It is medicine. Even when you're injured, like you still need to move. You just have to figure out the way to not increase your injury.
Breaking scar tissue or trying to break through scar tissue and all that. So another thing is Darnell likes to do shoulder pressing, and shoulder pressing can be tough on.
I know what he's gonna make me do.
Well, no, but that's really good. But this is a great stretch.
Oh.
This is a stretch for the supraspinatus as well, which is going to be a little bit painful. She's actively pushing this way, actively pushing both directions to create tension on the shoulder joint, on the shoulder.
So it's a very active stretch for that shoulder joint, which preps me to be able to do pressing movement. Yeah. So sometimes when you age, the prep work before you actually get into the gym and start You might.
They call it prehab.
Yeah. Oh, prehab. That's
Prehab.
really good. I love
it's called
that.
prehab. Instead of rehab, you're prehab.
Your prehab might need to be a little bit more intensive, right? Christian says I have problems with my shoulders too.
This is great. This is really it's helped a few clients with shoulder injuries.
Really,
I have one client that's had shoulder injuries.
Let me show you this.
Skiing, he's torn both rotator cuffs while skiing, and he was doing Pilates for years. Came to me, literally had him do this for a few weeks, and he does bench press super heavy and no pain.
It's amazing what active stretching can do for your range of motion, right?
This will change you.
You push on it first, and you get that active
One
stretch.
caveat.
What?
If you have a tendency to have dislocations, avoid CARs.
Controlled articular rotations, yeah.
So if you are prone to shoulder dislocations or anything like that, avoid or work with a PT to help also increase the work done with your rear delt if you have shoulder dislocations, to strengthen those muscles to keep it in the socket.
Yeah.
It's usually a less activity in the rear delt that will cause or prevent the shoulder from staying in. I'm trying to speak English.
Yeah, I have problems speaking English on here all the time.
It is my first language, even though I've got a Swedish name. There are, you have to kind of check with doctors and whatnot, but these are fantastic controlled articular rotations. You've probably seen them in workout magazines. There'll always be a big C, a big A, a big R, and it's like, what is that? This is what that is. It's called a controlled articulate rotation.
I actually did a piece of content on that as well, using this thing. These I got from Amazon. There's 2 different sizes. And I'm telling you, for joint mobility, these are great, but you can also use like a towel.
Is kicking themselves right now for.
I know.
These aren't mobility sticks, but Mobility Stick is another company. They're just super pricey.
What are these? How much are these?
These I don't know the
I don't
brands,
think these were
but
very
these are about
expensive.
$79 for the pair.
Yeah.
The Mobility Stick, I believe, was $152 to $200 for 3. And they're plastic and they move a little bit more. This is really a nice piece of equipment.
I'm shocked at how much. Oh, here's the brand. This is by Ace Supply.
Well, hey. I wanted to make like an Ace Hardware joke.
I know, that's kind of like, but is that Ace? Because it's like a weird. Is it ECE?
I'm not sure, but
I'll show you.
I'm sure you can put it up from Amazon.
Yeah, I'll stick this up on Amazon.
But it's
like
fantastic. I do that before, if I'm doing chest days or whatnot, and I use only dumbbells for when I do my chest, because of the range of motion. I want my joints to move freely instead of the bar, which is a little bit more fixed.
Right.
And
when you're using a bar to do a bench press,
it's too fixed.
What I have discovered after working with Rob for years is that the stability, having to use free weights where you're stabilizing it, it takes a lot more of the little muscle.
You get a lot
supporting
more
muscle
delt as well in that because of the stability factor in it.
So let's show that. You want to show some chest press?
I was gonna say let's do the shoulder press that I was saying, because you have doing this hurts.
Yeah.
So what rotation do you do to change that?
You rotate the grip.
Supinated
grip.
And that actually is a higher percentage of activation from the front head or the anterior head of your delt. So this is a more effective grip. This is a more effective exercise for the front head of your shoulder. And also, a lot of people will do a shoulder press this, where it's completely upright. Does that make sense?
No.
Why?
Because I feel like that goes in my traps.
Well, there's not really that much muscle here. Remember, you're working with gravity. The muscle is here that you're working. So whenever you do any exercise, understand what muscle you are specifically using to do the exercise.
And that's why I really like all that he has to offer, because I think, and I've always said this about skincare, about metabolic health, about whatever it is, you know, when you understand the science behind it, you're a lot more likely to implement it into your workout routine. So,
absolutely, and it should always feel, exercise shouldn't feel, oh, this one hurts when I do it, or I don't like it. I'll have a client say, oh, I don't like that exercise. Why don't you like that exercise? Because it hurts.
Right.
An exercise should never hurt.
No.
Never hurt. And so what that means is you're doing something wrong, or there's a hard stop.
Yeah.
Some of us have different genetics.
Or we have injury that
or
impinges
injuries
something.
or whatnot. And so you have to change the exercise or find the exercise that actually works for you. Because everyone is different.
Absolutely.
Maybe your warm-up isn't as good. Maybe you need to warm up more. There's a lot of different things. Maybe there's a pull. Maybe there's tightness that you need to decrease with a CAR. Maybe there's a stretch that you need. But exercise should never be painful. You're replicating movement.
Right.
And that's it. And so I want to build this muscle. And so,
okay.
So
Let me see.
you have a tear in the supraspinatus. And so if you do a pronated grip, you feel.
Here's a pronated grip. My palms are out.
So Darnell feels that a little bit in the supraspinatus with that.
Should we maybe face this way, or are we good?
It's up to you. You want me to move it?
Or I can just move I'm going to move it.
It's easier.
Okay, never mind. There we go.
That's better.
Okay.
Okay. So
I like to put my feet up. I don't know why. I feel like I'm more stable.
It's very funny when you do the cable rows.
Yeah.
And then your feet are up, or you're like sitting. And I'm like, all right, let's just do this today. Let's do it.
I'm not going to argue with her. I mean, I think because I'm tiny, I'm small, and so to get down here on the ground is like a little bit uncomfortable.
So right there is a supinated grip, and this actually puts more emphasis on you. I feel it's already a flex.
Even just holding this, I can feel the flex in the top of my. Here, let me move this a little bit. I can feel the flex in the top of my shoulder head.
The front head.
Front head of the shoulder. Yeah.
Now you'll get a very high percentage of anterior delt activation in this exercise, in this position. However, you can get a greater activation in this exercise by taking it a little wider, and that will create more of a stretch here. And then you press and keep your hand wide, and you feel it more.
Yes.
So just doing little things like where the arms go will change the exercise. And when you feel that? Front head of the shoulder?
Front head of the shoulder. Ugh.
Not in the chest. Great.
Front head of the shoulder.
And right so here. that is a better version of a shoulder press.
So if we did that...
And also it's less strain, less damaging on the supraspinatus or the rotator cuff itself, because the emphasis is there. Also, I just want to emphasize, never straight up, always at an angle.
Always at an angle.
It's a better activation of the anterior head.
Okay, so if we just now worked the front head of the shoulder.
We worked the lateral head, we worked the rear head, and we did biceps there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Okay.
But she would do 5 cents at least.
Yeah, I would normally. We don't have time today. Oh, it's almost 12. We don't have time today, but normally what I would do is we normally would do, I want to say, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we would normally do, I want to say 12 reps.
Wait.
On each thing, we would do 12 reps, 3 sets.
I was going to say we do at least like 12 exercises per time.
Yeah, we do about 12.
At least about 12 exercises per session, depending on energy level or...
That's my fault.
No, not at all.
If I'm sick.
No, well, but no, it's just, demand.
Yeah.
But it really depends, because some days you breeze through it and it's like, all right, we'll go 15, or it's 8.
Some days I walk in the gym and I'm like, I'm a badass today, and I have all this energy, and some days it's like...
Some days you get a dog. Some days we get a dog. And what do you call him? A time suck?
He's a time suck. Oliver's a time suck. But yeah, sometimes things happen. But normally what we do is we do 12 exercises, at least 12 exercises total. And Rob does it in such a way that
threes,
I like
which is called a tricep.
I like a tricep.
I'll give you some terminology.
Okay.
Single exercise, 1.
Yeah.
2 is superset. 3 tricep. 4 giant set. 5 circuit.
Ooh, I like the 3. I like 3.
I train most of my clients in 3 sets.
Yeah, it's more, to me, it's like manageable. I know what I'm doing. You know, it gets your heart rate up. It does. So I'm not big on cardio.
Helps with stamina, helps with endurance, helps burn fat. You can kind of 2 birds, 1 stone. You know, your heart rate's never going to go below 120, really.
Yeah.
I'm
panting when I'm working out, when I'm in here. This is really informative. Okay, so let's just recap a little bit. I know we're a little bit over, but that's fine. So normally what we do is we'll pick 12 exercises, and we'll pick how many body parts do you do?
It's usually, I walk in going, how are you feeling?
That's what he always.
How
are you feeling? Yeah.
And then I kind of plan it through there. I try to plan my workouts through how would I feel doing all of this. Like I hit the muscles, or I try to hit the muscle groups in a way that benefit each other.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of natural. So like for instance, you would do a dumbbell pullover, which will stretch, and then you will do a tricep dip, which will then stretch the other way.
There's a
method to my madness, and I want you to feel like you can do more.
And you do a great combination of short muscle, lengthening the muscle, talking about the function of things, getting good range of motion, but then when we do our upright rows, when we're doing our upright rows, it's a short
range of motion because you cannot go any more than this. And the reason why she would have a wider grip is so that the trap isn't involved. Yeah. A lot of people will do a close grip, and what happens? Yeah. She shrugs.
So we're talking about I'll just do this really quick. We're talking about this.
Careful,
like if you're doing an upright row and you've got
a lot of people do this at the gym,
look at
and
my
you
traps.
can see her traps.
Right.
Now she'll go super wide and pull this up, no trap, and isolation is into 3 heads of the shoulder.
So those kind of things, like form is super important. And as we're coming into the new year, if you're understanding the exercises, but also I always think it's intimidating walking into a gym for the first time. It really is. It shouldn't be, but it is. It is. And I know because I've walked in many gyms. You don't know where the equipment is. You don't know what you're doing. It's intimidating. Mm-hmm. If you are wanting a little Christmas gift from your significant other or from yourself to yourself, which is always the best kind of gift, when you join a gym in the new year, if that's like one of your New Year's resolutions, hire a trainer even just for 1 session. Because
I think most gyms, like when you join, they give you a complimentary session.
That's very smart to do.
They go through that and whatnot.
Very smart to do. Okay.
But like all doctors, all trainers are not considered equal. So find a good trainer that you can ask a lot of questions to. Yeah. Because you want to find out how knowledgeable they are in the exercise, and if they make you do something that you're not comfortable with, it's not necessarily the great trainer for you, or explanation of the exercise has to be enough for you to understand, because one bad session in a gym can set you back. Totally. So you never want to work out with someone that doesn't give you the best ability to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, English.
Damn that English. No, I totally understand, and I think you want your trainer as well to continue to learn.
Oh, 100%.
Because things that we used to do, new greater things come out and help to isolate.
I'm always learning.
All of that is so important.
I need to.
Yeah.
It's like every doctor has to continue to get knowledge for his field. I have to continue to get knowledge for my field, and because of the age we're in, there's so much knowledge, sports science. There's so much conflicting
knowledge.
Protein.
Exactly, conflicting knowledge.
I'm talking about movement and
there's still conflicting knowledge.
Biomechanics. Biomechanics you can't argue with.
Right.
Biomechanics are the ability to move efficiently. And like that is that there's no disputing that unless you have genetic issues such as heart stops or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
oh my God, so informative, right? Love it. Okay, you guys, listen. Here's the thing that's up for giveaways. Here, move that for a second, Rob. This T-zone vibration plate. So listen, if you want this is on sale right now. I can get it for you for a discount. I think 20% off. So if you're interested in that, just DM me vibration. I'll send you the link. But also, you got to tag your 3 people when this gets posted to my main feed, and you'll be in the drawing next week to win this sucker. You also got to follow Rob, and I'll put his hand. I'll put his handle there. But yeah, to be in the drawing to win this thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to win this vibration plate next week, tag your 3 people. And follow Rob, and I'll see you guys. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I think I'm doing a whole thing on sleep.
You have another one tomorrow?
Yeah, from now through Christmas Eve.
I need more sleep.
Rob needs more sleep. He does. From now through Christmas Eve, every Saturday and Sunday, major giveaways. You guys won't freaking believe this, but I'm giving away a red light therapy mask, the Omnilux. I'm giving away an eye restore red light therapy cap for the medical device for growing hair. I've got this vibration plate that's up for grabs. I'm giving you guys everything that I can for free for Christmas. Yay! You just got to be in the drawing. Okay, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rob. So much knowledge. I've learned so much from this man. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. I'm going to do something. I don't know, but we'll probably talk about sleep, and I've got another big giveaway. All right. Have a good day, everybody.
Good day.
Bye.